Okay, so this is Unit 1, and we're looking at exponents, the first day of exponents. So so if I go here, this is your course, and if I go back here, this is Unit 1, I believe A6. Let me make sure I don't want to misspeak. Yep, so then if you go down to your homework, there's some homework here, and then at the bottom what I did is I put in a PDF sheet, and there are answers, but I thought what I would do is I would go through quickly on how to get the answers. Okay, so this is a review for the unit, and you can watch this ahead of time or do it with your homework, whatever you want. And what we're going to do is we're working with exponents. Day 1 of working with exponents. Tomorrow is day 2 of working with exponents. So we look at exponents, and what we have is the base here and the exponent here, or the power. So question 1 and 2 says, what's the base? What's the power? Here's the base. Here 5. The small one, the lower number or variable, I guess, is the base, and then the higher number here is the exponent. So for example, here you have a base of 2.1 and an exponent of 2, and here the base is 2/3 and exponent 2. And what that means is 2/3 squared means 2/3 times 2/3. So what you'll see in high school, guys, is we don't often always put the x looking times function. What you can do is just rewrite it. Sometimes there are a bunch of ways to write it. So if I have 2 cubed, you might see this 2.2.2, which is 2 times 2 times 2. You might also see this 2 brackets in brackets like this, 2, 2, 2 in brackets. That's 2 times 2 times 2. The weird issue is this here is the multiplication symbol, but the symbol for multiplication happens to be the letter that we use most often as a variable. So when you get to high school, we start looking at x's and y's, right, as our 2 variables, and x is our general variable. And for some reason, we decided on x, which is also what we decided for with our multiplication symbol. So it's a little bizarre. So a lot of times what I'll do in my class is instead of writing like this, I'll write this 4 times 4 times 4. And it's a dot, but it's a raised dot, so not a decimal. So let's just look at this real quick. 4 times 4 times 4 is 4 to the power of 3. So that's 4. That's this one here. Now, I was about to say this. It's 4 cubed. 4 cubed is short form. Cubed means to the power of 3. So basically, we do this. 2 to the power of 1 is just 2. Okay, so 2 to the power of 1 is just 2. 2 to the power of 2 is 2 times 2, which is 4. But we also call this 2 squared. Okay, so anything to the power of 2 is called squared. And then after that, we call it cubed. So 2 times 2 times 2, or 2 to the power of, that's a 2. 2 to the power of 3, which is 8, is 2 cubed. And after that, we say 2 to the power of 4. Okay, so that's that. What else do we have here? Which expression in question 3 is this? So same thing here. Which expression has a power of 4 to the which expression equal? Oh, so it's the same thing. Sorry, I'm just kind of mumbling to myself. I was confused by that question. Which expression is this? 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So this is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is that guy right here. Okay, so it's not 2 times 4. It's not 4 times 4. It's 2 times 2 times 2. Single power. You know, it's single power. So your base here is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 6 as my base, and there are 7 of these. So 6 to the power of 7. Be careful. It's not the number of multiplication signs. It's the number of times you see the number. So here it's 1 multiplication sign, but that's 9 squared. 9, 9, 9 squared. Okay. And what else do I have here? If it's a fraction, base is the base. 2/5 is my base, and I have 4 of them, so I'm here. 2 to the power 2/5 to the power 4. If you want to evaluate stuff, you could use your calculator. Okay, or you can do it in your head. 6 cubed is 6 times 6 times 6. So you figure out 6 times 6 is something, times 6 is something else, and you get your answer. Okay, 2 to the 7, 2 times 2, keep going. Where we get, you can also use your calculator. What you're looking for is the button that looks like this, x to the y, or y to the x, or this thing which we call hat. So you go to that button or that button to the 7 equals something. And what you should do is something easy. So if you take something like this, 3 squared, okay, 3 squared is 9. Try 3 squared, and if you get 9 properly, then you're doing right. Occasionally, I've seen where you do it backwards, where 3 squared, you enter 2, and then you hit the button, and then you hit the 3, which is a little bizarre. But what you want to do is make sure that you know how your calculator to get 9 for it. The other thing I want to look at right here is this, a negative. What happens to the negative? And I'll just change this for a second. If I had -3 in a bracket to the power of 2 or squared, what that is saying is, tell me what negative 3 times negative 3 is. So what gets important here is the sign, okay? So negative 3 squared is negative 3 times negative 3, which is 3 times 3 is 9, and then negative times a negative is a positive, right? So what you end up seeing is, if I go add another negative 3 here, so it's negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3, that's another negative 3 in here. The number is 27, and then you get a negative. And then if you go back, the next one, if I go 3 to the power 4, negative 3 to the power 4, sorry, you're going to realize that you get a positive, and then 3 to the power 5, you're going to get a negative. And what you end up seeing is even power is positive, odd power is negative. And there's a pattern to that. And the easiest way to look at that is negative 1. Negative 1 squared is negative 1 times negative 1, which is 1. Okay, positive. Cubed, give me another negative, right? Negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1, negative. Power 4, positive. Power 5, and it goes back and forth, back and forth. One little difference is this. Negative 2 to the power 5 is, so let's go back to what I just did here. Negative 2, in a bracket, negative 2 to the power 5 is negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. That's 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. And my sign is 1, 2, 5. That's odd, so it's negative. Okay. Now, that is different than this. Negative 2 to the power 5. Negative 2 to the power 5, when you don't see a bracket, that says find out what sorry, let me start again. Find out what 2 to the 5 is, and then give me the negative. So it's negative of 2 to the 5. It's kind of like this. You could think of it like this. Any question that has a negative without a bracket, the answer is negative. So 2 to the 5 is 32, and I want the negative of it. Now in this case, these are the same, and that's only because this is an odd number. If I had this, negative 2 in brackets to the power 4, that's negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2, which is 2, 4, 8, 16. Even makes this positive, right? So go negative to positive to negative to positive. And that's different than this. This is 2 to the 4, which is 16, but what's the negative of 16? So if I want to say this properly, and I'll say it carefully here, this is negative 2 to the power 4. Okay, that's what this is here. And this is the negative of 2 to the power 4. So I want the negative of 2 to the power 4, and that's what this is here. Okay, so slightly different. And that's about it for the first part here. Let me just make sure that you're good with all these here. Order of operations, if you have a bracket, so if you look at this and go, oh, I don't know what to do here, this is 2 plus 5, which is 7, and squared. Okay, bedmass is bracket first, then exponent. So find out what's in the bracket first, then the exponent. And that's about it. Okay, these ones here, so this is 3x to the power 4. So what you do is your x is equal to 2 here. So what you do is you change the x to a 2. So now I have 2 to the power 4. So it's 3 times 2 to the power 4. Find out what 2 to the power 4 is and multiply it by 3. Okay. Don't tell me that it's 3. This is distributive property 3 cubed. Or sorry, this is the same as 3 to the 4, x to the 4. It's not the same as this. Okay. The 4 is only on the x. The 4 then is only on the 2. And that's about it. Okay. Any questions? Email me your question, and hopefully that makes sense. There's more exponent stuff in the next unit.